1-800-259-9231. Your chance to talk to Miss Oklahoma, runner-up in Miss USA. Morgan Elizabeth Woolard is our guest for another segment, and I've got some final news I want to hit on the financial front with world markets collapsing all over the place in the last segment today. Again, thank you for joining us, radio listeners. I want to go to calls, but I also want to talk about you in the future. I mean, you're intelligent, you're smart, you're a constitutionalist, you're for states' rights. You've been punished for standing up for your rights, even if you won't stand up for yourself. But I think that's, in a way admirable that you're not being, a spoil sport. But it's not a spoil sport if you were cheated. But again, discretion is the, greater valor, I guess they say. But where are you planning to go from here? I was telling you during the break, you ought to write a book about this and interweave in there your political views.
Well, that's a loaded question. Oh, my goodness, so much to say there. I have been incredibly blessed with being given numerous options from here. The Miss USA pageant, just the exposure itself is a blessing, especially if you want to be in the media. And so I'm very thankful for all the opportunities that have come my way because of this pageant. I'm already getting offers, within the broadcasting world, modeling world, acting world, hosting, anything of that nature. So I think right now I just need to decide what's best for me in my future and take a risk and go a direction. And I also need to finish my education as well. I'm getting close, but not quite there yet. So hopefully I can find a way to pursue finishing my education and starting my career at the same time.
Well, let me just inject this. There's a lot of anchors on television like Peter Jennings that don't have degrees. And I would strike while the iron's hot. You can always go back to college, but right now you're smart, you're talented, you're well-spoken, you're beautiful. I would get into the media, and I would take every opportunity you've got right now, because I'm not bashing college and education. That's fine and dandy. It's just that Bill Gates, Rush Limbaugh, if you look at the statistics, over 90% of the top CEOs, media people, you name it, didn't go to college or quit college because they were already go-getters. By 20 years old, halfway into college, they already had opportunities. Same thing with me. I was 21. I had about another year and a half of college left. I'd already gone and gotten a radio show locally, and I was sayonara. But again, I'm just saying strike while the iron's hot. Strike while you're in the spotlight, because you could argue, due to that controversial question and your controversial answer for some, you almost got more attention than the lady that won Miss USA. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if they stole the crown from you, because you still win.
Yes, it really is a win-win situation. I'm incredibly blessed, and I'm, again, so grateful for all of these opportunities.
So you're getting a lot of offers right now. Acting, TV, you name it. Just dive in with both feet.
You name it. Now, I think the hardest part is just figuring out which route to take. Because, of course, you want to do what's best for you. You want to do what's best for your future and take the bull by the horn and, make the right decision. And I think that's the place I'm in at the moment.
Well, let me give you some advice. Don't sign anything. Try a lot of different things because Hollywood TV, it's full of a lot of flim-flammers, a lot of talkers.
Yeah.
But just, I would go with the big companies or established companies who can give you bona fide money at the bottom, because they'll sit there and string you along to see where your career's going. So I mean, again, I would just hit the ground running and try a lot of things out, and that's why I'm warning you, because most people won't do this. College, especially when you're already being launched and propelled, you can always go back and do the college. You can't always get this advantage you've got right now. You can't always get the present back.
Right, and that's kind of another position I'm in regards to being in between a rock and a hard place, because both of my parents are within the medical field, and they're all about education. And so for me, I just need to find a place or relocate to a place that I can pursue both at once.
That's the way to do it.
Completely, that you need to take advantage of things while they're hot, and when they're in front of you, you gotta grab them. Otherwise, life might pass you by. So
when things are hot and in front of you, you gotta grab them. That's a good quote from Miss Oklahoma. Absolutely. Yeah, so you could go to Chicago, New York, L.A., places like that. And sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just agreeing.
Well, listen.
I in a big city.
Absolutely. Well, before we go to Eric, Chris, Mike, and others with Miss Oklahoma, the Patriot, who we just love to death, give us some of your other views on the Second Amendment, or on have you heard all these world leaders calling for global government and that we need to have the private central banks running things? What's your view on Ron Paul?
I think Ron Paul is a wonderful man, and I agree with him on a lot of stances. I've always been a bit of a constitutionalist myself, and I believe in limited government and liberty and rule of law and all those wonderful things in America, self-governance, that kind of thing.
Well, that's wonderful. Again, while we've got you here, where would you like to see our republic going? I mean, have you heard them talk on the news about forming this world government?
World government, by that do you mean giving the government more power?
Well, you've got Ban Ki-moon, the Secretary General of the UN, Herman von Rompuy, the head of the EU, the outgoing Prime Minister of England, Gordon Brown, Al Gore. The heads of the G20 are calling for a global government to set worldwide taxes. And I was just asking if you were concerned about that.
Well, I'm definitely concerned about that. I've always been for limited government and being able to be your own keeper and having self-government and, making something of yourself and not relying too much on the government for that. And so I'm definitely against big government in the world.
Well, I tell you, I wish you were Miss USA, somebody to really represent our country. But you are representing our country.
Thank you.
And people just appreciate that you didn't sell out your values. I mean, you had to know, though, when he asked the question did it run through your head, well, if I give the politically correct answer, he's going to like that? Or are you just such a patriot that there wasn't even a question?
Well, truthfully, in that moment in time, you don't have time to think. You just go with what you know.
Exactly.
And, I know who I am. I know what I believe and why I believe it. And with that said, it was easy for me to answer. I didn't have to think twice about it because that's who I am and that's how I was raised. And, I stood firm in that.
Well, that's why people admire you, not just for your beauty or, the electric presence, but the mind that powers it all. So exciting. Miss Oklahoma, Morgan Elizabeth Woolard is our guest. We're now going to go to a few phone calls. Let's talk to Eric in Oklahoma, your home state. You're on with Miss Oklahoma.
Hi, Alex. It's very good to talk to you. It's been years since I've talked to you, actually. My cousin was Miss America, Chantel Smith, in '87, and she is just a beautiful girl. And Morgan, you're just another one. You just represent Oklahoma wonderfully, and I'm very, very proud of you. And that's basically all I had to say. Just proud to see Oklahoma girls just doing so well.
Thank you, sir, very much. I appreciate that. Miss USA has never had an Oklahoma Miss USA before, so I was hoping to make history there. I was only a few short points off, but I was so proud to represent our state.
Oh, that's right. You lost the pageant, but you kept your integrity, and that's what matters at the end of the day, and you'll be rewarded. God will open bigger doors for you because you didn't sell out. That's what's always happened with me. I've been fired, you name it, before for not compromising, and it just every time I do the right thing, it just doors open up everywhere. 1-800-259-9231. Specific questions for our guests. Chris in Indiana, you're on the air with Miss Oklahoma.
Thank you, Megan, Alex, for taking my call. First, your answer was outstanding.
Thank you, sir.
I mean, a beauty pageant is beyond just beauty and body. It's mind and soul. And you scored 10s on all of them. So thank you. Thank you for being a good patriot.
Absolutely. Proud to be an American.
21, in college. What is your opinion, or what are you seeing as far as the increased police state and the loss, the erosion of our rights?
Yeah, what do you think of the Patriot Act being used against U.S. citizens? They've got legislation introduced where citizens can be secretly arrested We're seeing in universities, I don't know about Oklahoma, but more and more censorship of libertarian or conservative political viewpoints. Thanks for the call, Chris. Let's get her take on that question.
I'm sorry, what exactly are you asking me?
Well, I mean, what do you think about the loss of liberty, the erosion of the Bill of Rights, warrantless wiretapping? Are you concerned about that?
Well, I think that kind of goes along with what we were speaking about earlier, is giving the government too much power. And, I don't want our freedoms to be taken away. I don't want our liberty to be taken away. I think those things is exactly what makes America America. And just being able to govern yourself and, not having, like I said, the government controlling too many aspects of our lives, I definitely think there's a point where they need to step back and give us our freedoms again.
Absolutely, and we've got to step up and take them back.
Absolutely.